This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange.
All right, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Breakfast Show where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV with a stream on Facebook, YouTube, and also on our website where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. And we will bring the program come to you this Monday morning. My name is Khadija Bangura.
And Mina Mabel Kaba, good morning. Today is Monday, the 25th day of November 2024. And inside this edition of the Breakfast Show today, the world, they begin for member the 16 days of activism when at time where the world can use. For look at seeing them, what can happen to women and picking them. Well, for this edition of the Breakfast Show, we focus go day on FGM. And this particular edition of the program, they come to you with support from the Embassy of Ireland and Sierra Leone.
Well, we continue the program, and this morning we can talk to two women them when I advocate them that in different field them. As we all know, the World Day starts for advocates for different things them we can happen to women them where they feel saying about things them. And today, November 25, every year the world they start for advocates decided they call this advocacy period. There are 16 days of activism, and this year theme they say unite to end violence against women. Well, Liberty Online TV in partnership with the Irish Embassy the salon, they provide content them where they advocate for women them. And today we start with the FGM where locally they can call Bondo. Advocates them don't they this say na harmful practice, and some certain advocates and they say this not a harmful practice. So they get two women then today where they can talk about this particular issue where don't be topic all over the world. And at the studio this morning I want to welcome Anita Koma, the Executive Director for Girl Child Network Sierra Leone. Good morning, Madam Kuma.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, and also we expect for join another advocate. We will join me shortly as we continue for look at these issues. Today, the world they start the 16 days of activism, where this now a period where they use for campaign against bad things them we can happen to women them. And one part of bad things there are so now the FGM where other people feel say now harmful practice. And this now partnership where Liberty Online TV gets with the Embassy of Ireland na salon. We continue with the breakfast show.
All right, we will continue with the show, and of course, first na courts for get updates. Also, we will go na the Freetown Magistrate Court number 2 before Magistrate Santigi Bangura. We don't send one Alhaji Kamara go na the Male Correctional Center because police allege say he been thief property them of one man. Well, following number about this, let we join Mariatu Sheriff.
127-year-old student Alhaji Kamara don't make him first appearance before Magistrate Santigi Bangura at the Freetown Magistrate Court number 2 for answer to one count charge of larceny in a dwelling house, contrary to section 13(1) of the Larceny Act of 1916. According to the particulars of offense na that October 27 this year na Kebe Drive na Juba na the western part na Freetown, the accused with intent been broke inside Alhaji Katko Kamara in house and thief 1Z Fold mobile phone, 2 Samsung Galaxy A24 mobile phone, iPhone 14 Plus, and other things them will all cost over 500,000 millions. When a property of Alhaji Isa Katko Kamara, where the court be reading charge to the accused, the magistrate not been take any plea for man. Now, Sergeant 8811 Florence M. Wilson been a prosecute this case na court, and he been called the number 1 witness when the complainant Alhaji Isa Katko Kamara for talk waiting in know about this case, and he been start for identify the accused as a nephew, and say on the 27th October this year, he come out na the United States of America, but say before he left go America, he been lock all indoor them na in house and be give his spear key to the accused. and say when he return, he tell the carpenter for go check the room outside in safe day, and say when dem reach there, he notice say somebody don't tamper with the door, and when he go na the room, he notice say the whole room scatter. He said that will make a send call the accused and ask him why make he host this so, but say the accused deny and say he don't know why, because the accused no say one person no go able broke the door and the safe. And when dem check the safe, he notice say 5,000 United States dollars don lost inside the safe and other thing dem. He said that will make a call police and go make statements na police station. The accused Alhaji Kamara no been get lawyer for representing a court span this case, and Magistrate Santigi Bangura be send am go na the Male Correctional Center, and they adjourn this case to November 26 this year. For Liberty Online TV, me na Mariatu Sheriff.
Liberty Online TV, the 1 year this November, and you know what in that mean.
And throughout the month of November, na celebration period, and as you know, na time way for coming and support Liberty Online TV for continue for doing work.
And the way how we go support Liberty Online TV for continue for the online, na for send we you support.
Now for send we you support through the orange money number where you see on the screen and the other bank details them as way for make we continue for do we work. This na Liberty Online TV 1 year celebration. Na Liberty Online TV, all voices count.
Liberty Online TV, the 1 year this November, and you know what in that mean.
And throughout the month of November, na celebration period, and as you know, na time way for coming and support Liberty Online TV for continue for doing work.
And the way how we go support Liberty Online TV for continue for the online, na for send we you support.
Now for send we you support through the orange money number where you see on the screen and the other bank details them as way for make we continue for do we work. This na Liberty Online TV 1 year celebration. Na Liberty Online TV, all voices count.
All right, so we continue the breakfast show where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV. Today we start the 16 days of activism, November 25. Every year, the world they start the 16 days of activism, where this is a period where they use for campaign against bad things them where they happen to women and girl picking them. And this year the theme they say unite to end violence against women. And some of the violence them where normally advocates them can say they happen to women na harmful practice them. Wait till they look at the female genital mutilation, where na saloya would they call and the bondo practice. What in this mean to women them you can know inside the program this morning. Earlier we introduced with two studio guests them what they can get to the Anita Koma, Executive Director for the Girl Child Network Sierra Leone, and also we go expect for talk to Dr. Fumbaisia Yoko Amadou, where in the spokesperson for the National Sowe Council. They all go join me in the studio this morning as they can start the 16 days of activism with a period where advocated they use for talk about the bad things then we can happen to women and girls. But they start with you, Anita Koroma. You don't date at the advocacy world for a very long time. Every year, November 25 to December 10, on a King Day, all over, especially the media, for advocates for bad things them waking up onto women. Before we can look at the topic, who they can focus on this morning, when at the FGM, the Bondo practice. What is your general analysis on how honor the advocates them don't continue for use on a voice and platform them for end them bad things how they happen to women and girl picking?
Khadija, thank you for giving me here today. Exactly, we don't for talk about the bad things that really happen to women, not to today, not to tomorrow, like me over 20 years. I did it from day one. I just believe say a lot of things and they way bad where they happen to women. And above all, not only Naya, me stop. I don't travel the world, we don't go meetings, even quite recently, October, the whole one big program in South Africa and Pretoria. For tell we say there are a lot of things now they don't incorporate, not even the things that will be the things say, oh now for bituman no more in kick now for do this then kill them. Now even the one that we think say they're not for be part of them, then don't be part of them. We don't look at different areas them where they help for more could help the man they made them know say this is not a bad thing. And the acts we get for all governments responsible. Governments they don't sign treaties them. Where they not the one, they're not all them. I tell you what, even America, when you go to the United Nations on the rights of the child, they're not sign them. They're not all them. But like we governments them in and out and you go then they sign treaties and like you go Maputo, you go the African Charter, you go na the ECOWAS, you go na the international platform where na UN. Every day then they sign. But we see little is done. Whether we like it or not, every day bad things they happen to women, bad things they happen to Pekin, bad things they happen to girl Pekin. Still, we not see say them puts the measures the way they really make somebody afraid. Like when we live abroad, I don't work even at the system. See, say everybody you get a database. The bad person with they know a man with the beats, you go prison. But yeah, it's like we get a fine at the paper, they ending at the shelves. International donors and they give big time money for make all the policies. But when it comes to referral and implementation, now we own stock there in Sierra Leone. And a lot is still happening. Quite recently, we see an 8-year-old sexually abused by a teacher. Go to the extent, we not get the facts, but it's like poisoning and he die. We have 2 Khadijas there now. What can we do? We have a woman, we die, woman beat he broke, and we don't know if na beat be meet him. Every day things and they happen at Sierra Leone, but it's like, look quite recently, Papa abusing Pekin. We see all na the media then they pass. What are we going to do? We say we don't do na this advocacy. For years, sometimes you feel broken, you feel tired. Yes, abroad they know they get all, but we need to put things in place. Security, safer space. Quite recently, I just now allocate to 1 acre land for build a safe place for women there. We, even then they're picking, they will move. Because when man they abuse outside the keg in Pekin, it's not a government job. We they complement the efforts of the government, then for come for support we, regardless of who you are, I no need for be connected. Once I'm doing the job, give me the power, give me the support to do the job, then we all they try together for gain and help other people when we suffer. So in terms of abuse, from Beijing, where it begin, today, South Africa, we're in October, for more than 10 we say, we still have to look at teachers. Now, one key size school, child protection for them, monitoring them, screen them for no kind teacher where they come. You look at doctors, everybody gets a part for play. Professionals in every way, safeguarding, make simple. Me and you, we are safeguarding officers. If they see somebody there in a situation, you need for stop. If I say call the police, if you know what made for don't buy you, or tell them something that happened, call the number, make them go look waiting to happen. There are schools them, even where they tell you say orphanages and they abuse speaking in there.
Like you don't state so many forms of abuse we don't happen. Na salon. But for the purpose of this program, like how we just stated earlier, we look at FGM today. As an advocate, what do you think about the advocacy where different groups and on the make around the issue we get for do with FGM, especially so we take into consideration now cultural practice where so many people believe say for be sustained. What do you think about the advocacy around it?
The advocacy around it is over the years. First, it was scary. Second, we make a breakthrough. Everybody now open for talk about it. And third, for me, Agacha Network is part of Forum Against Harmful Practices, where we don't raise concern, we don't do a whole lot of inroads for help people and for understand. Though others then they grab say, no, it's a culture, we cannot stop it. Oh no, they are doing it for money because the West want for a kind of indoctrinatory about the things the way they happen. But every day we tell people, culture bound to shift. Culture not stagnant. Culture they move from the days that we dem born me so I don 50 years plus. No wetin I meet not going to happen again. So me just believe say I don't forget about the argument about it. The argument about it sometimes I say I no wan use my positive energy for encourage negativity. Me I'm a survival of it. I know what I don't go through every day. I dey tell people them. For me, I end up with one pikin. Now, quite recently, I do a major operation because of cyst, and that one they begin at age 30. Why I don't commodity? Then feel say na appendix natty. Then it will detect an aya. Till I go, I lost 2 pregnancy. It's only God na him be help me. I born one pikin before that. From more than find out saying an assist, it's from FGM. I don't care what you think about it. Because of my personal experience, I dey share and many picking on that go. And 2, you look at is a development politics. Where one person just feels, oh no, it's good for me, the other one is not good for me. The West, they are not giving me money. I start my advocacy from age 13. I don't ever run after Bundudrum and not dance there because I've been fighting against them. So you can't tell me now saying I'm money I defend. So on that note, the argument is open. I left you with your own argument. I respect you views them. If you say it's good for you, me advocacy, I talk to parents. I know if parents do the right thing, they're not going to give Sorry picking, Sorry not get business. Sorry, your business is stopped the day way parents left for give picking because you know there's no mandate for go jog that picking, now parents and for go put them or for go cut them. So that is my advocacy and the focus now forum against harmful practices who call FAP is about ending FGM. We know the negotiate them because the first one we start on child bundle. The years and don't lapse for more continuable child bundle. We get a strategic plan. Let the government look into that strategic plan, more bring our friend ways them, how we're able to combat effects till we reach at the point where everybody go stay healthy, go stay free. It's about life, it's about human rights violation. That's all I can say.
All right, continue for the week the program Anita Kroma, in the executive director for Girl Child Advocacy Network Sierra Leone. Well, through a virtual link, we don't be joined by Dr. Fumbai Yoko Amadou, we're in a spokesperson for the National Survey Council. Good morning, Doc, and welcome again to the Liberty Breakfast Show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation.
All right. Today, the world, they start for advocate. They use the 16 days of activism for advocate for things, them bad things that they happen to women and girl picking them. And this year theme, they say unite to end violence against women. You don't then at the advocacy wall for a very long time. You don't they use your voice and your platform for advocates for women and girl picking them, especially where company choice and decision them whether they make to their body. How you can use them period of advocacy for analyze some of the gains them where una don't make?
Well, first of all, once again, thank you for where you invite me and for where would they get this discussion is very important. As an organization, we did very much in support of this, the recognition of the kinds of violence and against women and girls. That is clear. I think, say, we get an understanding in many countries, say, there are certain things where they affect women and girl picking disproportionately. So we definitely are in support of that. We can work, we get with grassroots organizations in Sierra Leone, where we work with girl picking them, we they promote education. But in addition to education, we they promote, just open communication, things that would affect girl picking them, whether from, menstrual hygiene, teenage pregnancy, the kinds of things, the issues and they deal with day to day. So definitely we did on that. Now on the issue, I just come inside where I did listen to my co-panelist. Sorry, to talk about FGM. Again, for me, FGM now terminology we completely reject. Of course, anybody we don't go through something, we then feel say a mutilation, we then feel say somebody disfigure them or somehow, the person dysfunctional sexually. Now, in experience, I may not go ever deny anybody in personal experience. But the fact of the matter is, for the vast majority of Umandem, we don't go through Bondo inside Sierra Leone. The vast majority have a positive experience. Now, it make Combrade not get any problem for taking them, picking them, for go and join them inside Bondo. So we don't consider Bondo a violence against women and girls. On the contrary, we know say the Bondo procedure is now something it's almost now popular inside Western countries. Americans, British, Wetuman, educated women, affluent women, then now they go for this procedure, this very same procedure, because they know the benefits then they get from this procedure. So we don't want to hear any nonsense about this procedure being harmful when we know say now inside Western countries, where then gets the best access to medical resources and so on, the doctors themselves then they perform this procedure for Umandem, where they go and request this procedure, not just for themselves, but then picking them back and teenagers back, then they request the exact same procedures where they do na Bondo. So if somebody gets a negative experience and one campaign or sensitize other comradem, I mean that's up to them. What thing we dey against is any kind of law we go impose somebody else in experience and somebody else in opinion or in your own values on we Umandem, we will get with your mind, we self we get with your own experience, we self we're not fool, we not go subject we own girl picking them to something we not fine or we're not good. So that's we completely reject, especially if that particular law or policy get for discriminate against we as Umandem, and we right as Umandem as parents. So we are completely against that. But what I want to add is FGM campaign, since we did talk about violence and harmfulness, we know say that the campaigns themselves are psychologically harmful to girls. Me they get, we have an organization where they get that complaint say almost daily, where women are just completely terrorized, they are being demoralized, then they, listen to this kind of propaganda publicly on the radio and so on. So that in itself is harmful. So we don't begin now for sensitize women that this is not something that we have to put up with. This is not, again, we within America, we know say certain language, they use certain language where say offensive to an individual or a group. If somebody called me by a B word, for instance, or, the N word, these are negative things that go against me, my person, my identity. And it is psychologically harmful.
Dr. Amadou, you say the advocacy and propaganda, but just listen to you co-panelists when in a studio where in believe say this particular practice, it gets health issues and self-like violation of human rights. And it use own experience for use as a case study for just show woman and girl picking and say, especially comrade we can take them, picking them and give them to so way for this practice. In believe say it get health challenge and a violation of them picking their human rights. What do you take on that?
So as I said, that's not my own experience, not so. My own personal experience. Maybe she had a malpractice. Maybe the way work on her, maybe there was a mistake or an accident. I don't know. Me don't know of any, I cannot speak about her own personal experience, but she's talking about a cyst and being unable to have, get pregnant or whatever after that. Me not say there's so many other causes of infertility and so many other causes of cysts. So I'm not able to comment on your own personal experience. I know say that in some cases there might be, mistakes or malpractice. This happens in any procedure, even male circumcision, right? So you get male, as we've been on discussed in the last program, male circumcision, there's a whole list of things that we can go wrong. So in individual cases, I'm not going to deny, say maybe there's a mistake or there is something, but for generalized you own experience, generalize them now for say this not the experience of all women and all girl picking them. That is what I'm saying is propaganda. When I speak of propaganda as well, I'm talking about a lack of medical evidence, a lack of scientific evidence. They claim say practice is mutilating, when a very powerful word, it causes disfigurements and it causes sexual dysfunction and other issues. You have to have the science to prove that. There have been decades and decades and decades of campaigning and no science, nothing to back it up. And by science, I mean studies where they show, say, for instance, they talk of cyst, right? If you now have a study that compares circumcised women and uncircumcised women, then you show that circumcised women have a higher rate of incidence of cysts and infertility than uncircumcised women in the same environment with the same access to medical facilities or lack of access. Then, you can convince me as a scientist that this is something that has some grounding in evidence. But if you don't show me any kind of evidence and you just show me individual cases, then it's unscientific. And then if you want to now have a campaign, your campaign is based on propaganda. And FGM, the idea and the concept of FGM is based on propaganda. This is an idea about not just about the physical operation, but an idea that women are oppressed, women are subjugated, you are somehow violating the rights of a woman because she is a woman. That is completely nonsensical. It is illogical because we live in a country in Sierra Leone where you have both male and female circumcision. So you are not targeting a particular gender because of that gender. It doesn't make sense. So once again, you get for come with the evidence for show say this practice on a general scale, not to just individual cases, on a general scale is harmful. We don't see that. Otherwise, you can make the same arguments about male circumcision. So why not? My suggestion is,
like you say, una no they consider this harmful, but I don't know if you're aware, say there are so many recorded and even unrecorded cases of people where don't they testify, say they not say generally they don't want the practice, but that caught inside of them. Now one way plenty people consider for be harmful, so the girl picking and we can go through them. From your perspective, how you go explain for let people understand why you believe say it's not harmful? Because testimony then they show say
again,
harmful.
I know able comments on individual cases. Me don't already. There are certain campaigners where we don't already expose, say, they have exaggerated their procedures and their experiences. So sometimes there is, I know say my colleague with Sidonde, my co-panelist, maybe in her case is different, but there are other cases where they have been coached because of financial interests or whatever, getting a global platform, and have exaggerated their experiences. We can prove this, and we have done that. So that is one thing. Another thing is, again, regarding harm. It's not sufficient to say one person experienced so and so, because you don't even know if what he experienced is is the cause of the procedure. Right? We have to have good medical evidence, good scientific studies to be able to show that, yes, this is a general problem. Because otherwise, I can say the same thing about male circumcision. Male circumcision, you have boys that die, you have accidents, you have excessive bleeding, you have infection, you have accidental maiming, you have these same issues. And the same thing, you have individual stories. I can show you videos. I can, you have campaigns against male circumcision with individuals who have had problems. Now, but most men are not going to say, oh, yes, we want to ban male circumcision because individuals have suffered harm. So we get to be very careful about generalizing the experience of a few individuals. Because, again, what I have said before is it could be due to malpractice. Me don't know this person in Zoe. if they have the right training, or if they went through, whatever that individual's experience is. Those are things that we need to look at, these cases, and understand them and understand the causes of them before we get to the point of saying we're going to ban something. It's the idea that we get for ban something because girl A or girl B says that she suffered this and that. That's not how you conduct a health policy. So that is what we are against. And then also, there are the positive. One thing that we don't like to discuss, where of course Soways will tell you this, and many people who appreciate the benefits of the procedure itself then will tell you their benefits. So we get to look at that as well.
We can't talk about the benefits them. We'll come back to you for talk about the benefit them. But quickly, let's just bring you co-panelists in. As in your narrative where if they push, you don't counter them. You not believe, say, all of them things there, then stories there, and some of them I don't find them saying a propaganda. Let's just bring in Anita, where they use Ion's story as a case study for show, say some of this practice get health challenges and also the human rights violation to women.
Khadija, I want to go first for make Sia understand about human rights violation. This government don't sign a treaty from the United Nations on the Rights of the Child, going to Maputo Protocol, coming down to the CIC, when at the Child Rights chapter in Africa, that all violence, all mistreatment must stop for picking them. So me sitting here, I wear a cap of an international child rights activist, as well as nationally I'm doing it. In my organization, we don't travel the world, we don't talk about it. So if you think, say, there is no violation on female circumcision, we're small picking, another choice, and the United Nations tell you about choice, about rights. When the picking you, they say, oh, consent, who can consent? What do you know? When you want to go put them, for go from perform FGM, you tell and say, now this are the go courts and this are the put by you. For me, allow me the picking agree. First of all, you say we now no one no law around picking for make them not ban, for make them not bring laws then. The government, I sit in here, get the mandates at the sue them internationally. If they don't go by waiting, then sign. We have the mandates. We don't do our own pregnant girls. Now we this way start a campaign. Make people in Kano where they hijack and then place themselves. We started that the right of the girl now for make them go. If they get belay, they no get belay. Make them go school. We win. The government, we sue them. And the same thing with this child's rights. If they're not doing the right thing for protect Pekin on FGM, seriously, we don't see Pekin and don't die. Komra, yes, I will Pekin, but when it comes to government, they get the full mandate for controlling. It's about safeguarding issue, it's about the child's rights. So I want first candidate to you for say the government is mandatory to do it now. Then get the rights now for protect them picking there. So whether Surrey Council come out and shout to them, say they know they go down are they. Now parents then get the rights. Parents have not get rights. Where government ready if for put the law. Government feed the picking will not feed them, or government get an over you picking. So if government not do waiting rights, I, Anita, with the team, will they take them internationally courts for protect picking them. So if we not the Surrey Council believes say not a violation, we not go born we not picking them, we not put them. But poor picking, the parents, you parents self, we they sue you, you get right, we they take you to court because you get right for protect that picking. It's a safeguarding issue. Now you get that picking in decision. If you say no, even in South Sudan, if I don't want me picture on a consent. So obviously me, I know they go die for that. I know they talk about this on rights. The rights the government need for do the needful now. Then there are all the opportunity for doing. And even the Maputo Protocol where they sign. It boldly say with no reservation in ending FGM. So why they sign them? If they not want to do them, they're not for sign them. So since they sign them, we get mandate for challenge them. For more take them to court, make the international court go talk, or the African court, any side where they can then go. So I want to make everybody know that day, make everybody understand, from parents to the advocates, they say, we get a right to protect them picking there. Nobody not for violating their rights. Then coming back to the question of saying, oh, my story. Me, I don't cook stories. I'm very real, I'm authentic, I not chase money. I put my money into this advocacy before ever I join even a coalition for make advocate. So we do, now make I say, I respect your view, respect my view. I have my bitter experience. I know what it means. I know the trauma around it. I know the psychological impact. Psychologically, I know the impacts. So if you think, say, is a violation of rights, if we talk about it, is your cup of tea. I, Anita, I come out boldly to speak up and say, this is what happens to me, and this is what happens to me. I'm still carrying the scars of what happened to me.
According to Doc, he made mention, say, scientific proof, not the way they show, say, the practice harmful. And you say you don't use this story for advocate against this. But based on numbers, apart from you, the organization we represent, are there similar stories where perhaps backed up with scientific proof for justify why you believe, say, this is not good?
Mabel, there are different experiences. Different ways, not to just me own story now one story where I talk where I experience them. Different ways, go to Aberdeen Women Hospital, may see the amount of fistula and what they cause them. Because they don't go lock inside the baby for pass. They check when they check, then they help them. Now then they check the piece bag and the toilet bag. Because we're not there. For somewhere lucky, if you meet experienced doctor, then they do cesarean. But if they left you, I don't do interviews with story them. I they do surge. I tell them. You know, say then they do then about attendance. I said, you will not tell me. The one way go with the one way go without the bone quick. They said the one way no go. Truly. May see I go check na the internet. May see the medical. May see the evidence. We na FAP, Dr. Olaobi don't do a lot of research on the impacts, on the effects, the stories that will come. See, I go online, go check on us. We know they talk about the other countries and go to Mauritania, go to other countries where we don't work together. Go there, go check on the internet. Scientific evidence we want. Me, I can testify, tell you, say, there's a lot of scientific evidence. Go check them. You na doctor.
On science. And it talk, say, you know, see the data, the scientific data, we go back some of the advocacy claim.
So you're going to stop only, they talk about Sierra Leone, go on the internet. Me, I know they talk Boku. Go on the internet, go check on the research them, even where allow be, they don't call them. They done a lot of research for big organizations them. He don't do research on all the issues around, because in one of the doctors that we the champion, he based in Sweden. But in Sierra Leone, he deny. It can come all time. It don't go from region, district to district. For do look at the experience of women, waiting at the evidence them, waiting and don't get. Science is science. But personal experience is not about science. It's about my personal experience. It's about go to Aberdeen women, go check the women all, where then they help with fistula if they not undergo FGM. Now that's I want no more. Messi from by cam. Go do them. It's so pathetic. Then they get one case where the lady for go do the operation and the doctor no able correct them. Now for me go, now mass is cheap. Now they will beg now for me then take them. You go FGM, they all go check them. No fool we safe.
Think about the whole conversation around consent. For let the people reach your age, we go for decide and choose whether I want to go or not.
Well, this about consent is about you are over 18, but under 18 cannot consent. He's a child, 0 to 18. As you're 18, you dey consent. But the majority of picking them, where they undergo, they're under 18. Then government say, oh, child bondo, it's not working. We don't start and with the campaign over the years. Chief then sign treaty for me question and do chief then nana then they check paper for me then put and no they even go look who that day. So we na FAP we na forum against harmful practices. We don't jump that stage day. There is a strategic plan. Oh, one make the government go back. Make them go to the drawing board, make them go look. That strategic plan was funded by UNICEF and other big organizations.
On advocacy, the anti and the pro bondo don't they for a very long time. You think say it gets any political undertone?
There is a big one. Big developmental politics, a big political undertone. But what we are doing, we cannot relent. We don't help a lot of parents and don't understand. We use the alternative rite of passage. Where they come, they go there, they know they caught you, we get fun, we enjoy. We give the soldiers all waiting they need, the one they ready for even the flag down, they know they wear the white and they wear blue and yellow. China and the world, and for those ready, we support them with a lot of visceral businesses, skills, and then they train. They don't see the need. The same way they say we don't meet to them 1,000 times and say not so we get the problem. Now the commander they go meet to give them picking. So what's in our own they can't school we. So the open brain will begin change with strategy for the advocacy. Right. So we target parent them, put you picking at school, make book like me, let become what I become. Then they ask you now certificate you join FGM, and before you go experience fistula, even the educated one and they get fistula. If you're not able to pass it and don't lock them, it'll check you. So when I go now Aberdeen, go do the statistics, they more come back tell me say the one they already experience and they not go they not go FGM, but they get fistula. Go back and do it. So when we meet them, we discuss with them. Now they will get with strategic plan. Because the day when they tell me that what they now my line tell bring them nationwide from Kenya and the land, then tell me that we say okay, we go back, we strategize. Now the parent and we tackle, we picking up girls schools clubs of influence on FGM, and the picking are well educated, the bigger ones they know they go. Now the small one then they catch, then can go. Me auntie tell me say until now they go and give the big one then sense, the small one then now then they catch from age 3, then they circumcise them. So if you don't care about child's rights, I cared about the right of the child. I care about them protection. I care about safeguarding issues around them for make them will be protected.
All right, continue for the between the program, Anita. Now we bring in again Sia Fombai, where they through the virtual link in the spokesperson for the National Survey Council. Sia Fombai, you hear from Anita, it shift all the blame to the council where you they represent, where you not the national spokesperson. It say una been gets the blame, but now in they throw the blame at comradem. Say if you not care you picking go get to so we not go circumcise them. And now the target now underage picking them below 3 years.
Mm-hmm. So once again, I will come back to some of the comments that we make for just respond. But quickly, I want to say my position not to just as a spokesperson for the National Survey Council, but also as the founder and executive director of Sierra Leone Women Are Free to Choose. We're now an advocacy organization for the rights of both women and girls. Okay, so the advocacy we they do is also from a rights-based approach. But I want to reassure Madam Koroma as well as we audience that I'm also a human rights expert. I worked for years for UNICEF as a lead consultant, specifically on the issue of the Convention of the Rights of the Child, as well as the CEDAW, the Convention on the Elimination of All Discrimination Against Women. So Nabi me woke, and I would not have been hired by UNICEF as a lead consultant, a senior consultant, if I was not an expert on this. So, my own task under UNICEF was to look at the compliance of local laws and policies to these human rights documents. So please, Mecca, just enlighten we panel that the Convention of the Rights of the Child makes absolutely no mention of female genital cutting, FGM, circumcision, nothing. The CEDAW makes no mention of female genital cutting or FGM or nothing or anything like that. Now, when you come to the Maputo Protocol, and we did an entire press release on that, the Maputo Protocol makes mention of FGM with no definition. It just says all states should try and eliminate, this thing called FGM, right? And we know the history and the dynamics of the Maputo Protocol, that it was spearheaded by an anti-FGM organization founded by white feminists here in the US, Equality Now. So that then go and do their own lobbying, the countries, tying aid to legislation and national policies and so on, in order to be able to realize this Maputo Protocol. As far as I am concerned, the Maputo Protocol makes mention of FGM, does not define it. Bondo does not practice FGM. I am sorry that Madame Koroma believes that she's had these negative experiences because of her own procedure. She should go and speak to her parents, maybe, and the Sowe, and figure out what happened to her. But Bondo, Sande, society, our traditional Sowes do not mutilate girls. We do not disfigure and cause the sexual dysfunction of girls and women. So female genital mutilation, a concept, a terminology that was invented by white feminists, is not something that occurs in Sierra Leone. We do not recognize it. We reject it completely. Another reason why we reject it, which I state over and over again, is that the very same procedure we don't want to refer to as mutilation, because now we are African women or Muslim women, we are African women. The very same procedure, and the Duam Naya, it's in fact very popular, very expensive, and they call it something else, labiaplasty, clitoroplasty. So me not go sit down, I watch, woman them, Western women, American women, white, educated, affluent Western women and their daughters going and getting the same procedures where, if you look at the WHO definition, these procedures fit the definition of FGM under the WHO definition, but they don't refer to their own, which man they call their own woman, mutilated, or they don't refer to it as FGM, but they want to now come and refer to African women and girls who uphold female circumcision or who are members of Bondo as mutilated. We completely reject that. So me don't know what's in a FGM. If whoever wants to oppose FGM can oppose FGM. I'm not referring to FGM. I don't condone FGM. I don't know what is FGM. We don't practice FGM in Sierra Leone. So back to the idea of going to court. We welcome that. Right now, we didn't have court in Gambia. We didn't have court in Gambia because we are exposing these FGM activists, how they exploit the media, local and international media, to stage crimes and stage these FGM crimes so that they can now propagate that outside in order to get funding for their campaigns in Sierra Leone. So we didn't have court. We welcome. That is what I am here for. I welcome that challenge. This is my whole career. Mek we go to courts. Let's take this to regional court. In fact, what I want to ask Madame Koroma, we did a press conference last summer where we uncovered, the government purposeful organization, which at that time was headed by the current information minister, Honorable Chernoba. Naomi, they had this anti-FGM organization, Purposeful. They already sued the government of Sierra Leone at ECOWAS court, human rights court in I believe it's in Abuja. Excuse me. What's happened to that case? Why didn't they follow up on the case? It was a human rights abuse case. They were taking the government of Sierra Leone to court because of FGM. They had a specific case that they were referencing for abusing the human rights of women and girls in Sierra Leone. Where is the case? That was a perfect opportunity for make we test the actual human rights provisions and stipulations at this level. That was the opportunity. But again, what I want to emphasize and what we don't emphasize inside we press releases is the issue of equality. The Convention of the Rights of the Child, as well as the CEDAW, emphasize the equality of women and men and of girls and boys, and that non-discrimination is an essential principle within these human rights documents. You cannot breach this non-discrimination principle. So again, what I advise Madam Koroma, if you really believe in the child's rights, the rights of the child, then you should also be campaigning for the rights of the boy child, who can also suffer from mistakes or malpractice in male circumcision. When you come with a bill where include male genital cutting along with female genital cutting, then I will be a little bit more convinced that you are sincere about advocating for the rights of the child. And then also, you are not then infringing on the rights of mothers, of women and girls, because now you've included boys as well. So you don't have the problem of discrimination or non-discrimination. You don't have that issue. It's a simple thing. We are challenging Madam Koroma as a child rights advocate, if not to FGM, because this strategic plan where they come to, the strategic plan, again, it is based on a Western feminist agenda. We don't want to impose na Sierra Leone. And it comes with funding. When you hear National Strategic Plan, it's not just National Strategic Plan. It comes with, with funding. $11 million was the amount, I believe, in 2016. I don't know if it don't go up or whatever. But it's because of the money that is coming to implement this particular agenda, a foreign agenda in Sierra Leone, a Western feminist agenda in Sierra Leone. Excuse me. This is why I believe there is a support for a female-only ban that does not include a male ban. And this is what we are not going to tolerate. If you really care about the rights of children, include male genital cutting in the Child Rights Bill, and you will have our support. One more thing.
Quickly, before you go to that, what you want for state, okay. What are your view about the issue we get for do with choice and also consent? Not for put small picking, but allow picking them for big and choose whether they want for go into the society or not. What are your view on choice and consent?
So look, me, I was a big girl. I was in college. Me come from America for join Bondo. So I was in college. I am 100% in favor of choice, over 18 choice. My sister, on the other hand, was 6 years old. We get to about a 15-year age difference. My sister, she was 6 years old. So I cannot be a hypocrite and say that somehow it is okay to criminalize my mother, to make her into a criminal and a child abuser, right? Because she made the decision for my sister in her own best interest. You understand? The same decision that she made for her sons with my father. So she made the same decision for my sister as she did for her own sons. So once again, the issue of consent, for me personally, I don't have a problem with, the only thing that I'm against is laws. I don't think this is something that you criminalize or that you legislate. But I don't get a problem with the idea of consent, but it has to be with both genders. It has to be both male and female. It has to be consistent. You're not going to discriminate against one or discriminate against girls just because there happens to be a male bias or a male preference, or because the West is practicing male circumcision, but they're against female circumcision. That's their own, that's their own problem. That's their own issue. In Sierra Leone, we have gender inclusive circumcision. So I know they're against consent. In fact, I work with anti-male circumcision activists who are also pushing for consent for boys. We work together. And not just anti-male circumcision activists, because you know now we get all kinds of transgender, you get intersex, you get all kinds of procedures, processes that involve the alteration of genitalia, where we're working globally with all these global experts to have a global health strategy that includes everybody, right? Irrespective of gender, of race, of nationality, of all of those things. So you have a real equal or an effort to achieve equality in these procedures. If you're going to ask for consent or you're going to advocate for consent, it has to be consent across board, not discriminating against African and Muslim girls and women. That's my only issue.
When I can lead so many girls picking them for let people and believe say this particular part of the practice or tradition not healthy at all. What do you think about that?
I think we get a connection issue. I know Yeri the full question
of the culture, not professional, and they not can get the environment right and the equipment itself where they can use for the picking them, not can sterilize at all. What do you think about that?
So once again, data. We get, and I will show you, we've submitted this to the legislative committee, but what's the hold up, Naya, is a thorough, comprehensive literature review, right, that was conducted by global experts where they are independent. These are scholars at prominent universities that have no financial stake, nothing, where of and the various types, there are various types, are harmful for girls and women. So we have the data, we have the science, and we can show that there is no evidence that those few studies we get control groups and they're a little bit scientific, prove that there is no difference in the experiences, in the health outcomes of circumcised and uncircumcised women and girls. There is no difference, hardly any difference in terms of health outcomes. So this, for instance, this idea of fistula, we hear all the time, fistula, fistula, fistula. But then you ask them for evidence and they shy away. Why? Because the only evidence that exists shows that fistula occurs among circumcised women. This is ridiculous. This is propaganda. I challenge Madame Koroma to go and show me the science. In fact, WHO had started a study in Sierra Leone because we have the population of certain, uncircumcised women and circumcised women comparing. And that study was proving that there's no difference in terms of the incidence of the prevalence of fistula among circumcised and uncircumcised women. So then they quashed it. Anytime when there are studies that will disprove what the propaganda says, they quash the studies. In Kenya as well, they wanted to show that circumcised women have higher incidence of HIV infection because of the manner of the practice and so on. Instead, what they found was consistently throughout the world, circumcised women have the lowest rates of HIV infection. So, this idea that somehow, circumcision is associated with negative health outcomes just because you say it and just because you repeat it over and over and over again does not make it true. It does not make it science. It does not make it evidence. So for me, it's not enough to say, oh, this person suffered that. Oh, this doctor came and said this person this. That's all anecdotal. Anecdotal evidence is
Sophia?
important. I'm an anthropologist. Anecdotal evidence is important, but it has to be systematic. We have to have intentional studies to show that there really is a higher rate of negative health outcomes, right, with circumcised women versus uncircumcised women. That evidence is not there.
Let's just left you there for now and bring in Madam Anita, who go take the cue from Sia Fombai. It's still a challenge, you know, say, for bring out data where they show, say, the negative health impacts them on circumcised women versus the one they were not circumcised.
Well, me, I don't want to go there first. I want to come to the child's rights. We see how they say, let me go back there, let me go back there. If you go to the United Nations, on the Convention on the Right of the child for be free from torture, putting that Pekin under that kind of space for courtam. You say not to mutilation, good with you. Not to torture, not to anything bad. Not a violation, Sia. I can't even go that. More protocol, they didn't say it. Go there, say without reservation. Go there with the FGM. What you want, waiting and talk FGM, female genital mutilation. Then cut them, then root and then come on, go again. When them cause mutilation, then root and come on you, it grow again. Let's be honest in here. We'll be explicit about what the practice is all about. Like in the north, then clear all thing, nothing no left there. It's seal. So I want to tell you, say, it's a mutilation. Whatever name they call her, you know, for grow again, not to see where they grow. So then don't pull them. I want for come back. Oh, taking you to court. That court case, you know waiting don't pass day. I know they can't talk now about that court case. The threats, the thing they own assets, now they behind the sign they threaten, we know they go there. Na case where they come, na case where they happen. We get beaucoup case and now wait you for that. So that case where they ask me what happens to that case, you go understand what happened at the case. It's coming back, things will happen. I know they go there because I know one for bring any disputes around that issue there. When you work on them, if they don't cause the case they period. So now, Sia, with all this advocacy, where do you get your funds? Anybody know they pay you for fund you? Is it not money you're asking for in your funding? Are you doing it for free? Is it coming from you? Development politics, don't start, please. Don't start. For every advocacy, there is a cause behind it. If you're not there for now, you do, wait till they do so. Going to the Gambia, what will not do they? They're not just on our back there. See, stop. We know everything. This woman.